During that moment, I was having physical, I started shaking. I was having maybe potentially, I guess I term it remembering of potential contact. You had a choice. Why didn't you choose me? Even if it meant forsaking your aunt? Yes, if she'd be here now! Even if it meant hurting her? If it had to be. Nobody's talking about this, but the secret to getting more views on your videos on TikTok is to use TikTok Promote. Helps you reach way more.
Stream check.
Get game day deals from Uber Eats. Get a $15. Get game day. There are certain things that if you get caught up doing it, if you get caught up in these cycles, you're not going to operate at your full capacity. All right, fellas?
I believe.
What would you do if Vecna was behind you?
I'll turn around with a swift elbow, mate, hit him around the side of the fucking hand exactly. And what I do is like the cut his fucking hand exactly. Let us out his mouth. Comes out like a toffee fucking apple. Then stick it back down his throat so he can't breathe no more. And I'll eat the 2.5 digested in peace and use them as a fucking footstool. Blow.
What would you do if Vecna was behind you?
I'll turn around with a swift elbow, mate, hit him around the side of the fucking hand exactly. And what I do is like the cut his fucking hand exactly. Let us out his mouth. Comes out like a toffee fucking apple. Then stick it back down his throat so he can't breathe no more. And I'll eat the 2.5 digested in peace and use them as a fucking footstool.
I'm addicted to using my Pikachu pussy pocket. Can you give me some advice on how I can stop it as well? I'm going to try and recover my money.
I've never heard of a Pikachu fucking pussy pocket in my lifetime. Pikachu's one of my favourite Pokemon. The fuck is that? Like, what is that?
I'm addicted to using my Pikachu pussy pocket. Can you give me some advice on how I can stop it as well? I'm going to try and recover my money.
I've never heard of a Pikachu fucking pussy pocket in my lifetime.
Oh, man. Yeah, man. I dated this girl. She didn't know how.
It's April the 5th, 20...
Why you don't laugh? She's part of the family. This is your granddaughter.
She's a rodent. She's on the table.
She's a rodent.
Why you don't laugh? She's part of the family. This is your granddaughter.
She's a rodent. She's on the table.
No.
It's like having a rat on the table.
Guys. Why you don't laugh? She's part of the family. This is your granddaughter.
She's a rodent. She's on the table.
No.
It's like having a rat on the table.
Why you don't laugh? She's part of the family. This is your granddaughter.
Romance anime scene.
I remember once you had said they have ships. What do the ships look like? And what is the purpose of the ships? Where do the ships reside and what are they doing?
Different civilizations have different technologies, different ships.
And I'm pulling this out of my ass.
Give me your just thoughts about what LeBron said. How did it make you feel?
Really shocked.
In my opinion, LeBron should keep his opinion to himself.
LeBron may be the king of LA, but he's not the king of Memphis.
I hate LeBron James after that. Okay. So, this song cannot be copyrighted.
I used to love LeBron James until yesterday.
I don't see what he finds a problem with Memphis. He don't come from no better than Memphis, and he needs to keep his mouth shut and stay.
Is Pennywise behind you? Well, I hope not. If he is, I'm not in a good mood at the minute. So, like, as much as Pennywise might want to do his little, like, hello, and all that shit, and have a balloon above his head, mate, there's going to be none of that bollocks. I'm not going to see him and try to chat with the fella and be like, oh, I'm scared. It's just going to be straight fucking hands on. Going to be basically alongside with Pennywise. Follow that joke. Wow. Really fucking A, mate. Pennywise behind you? Well, I hope not. If he is, I'm not in a good mood at the minute. So, like, as much as Pennywise might want to do his little, like, hello, and all that shit, and have a balloon above his head, mate, there's going to be none of that bollocks from him. I'm not going to see him and try to have a chat with the fella and be like, oh, I'm scared. It's just going to be straight fucking hands on. Going to be basically alongside with Pennywise behind you.
Dude, why is slamming the freaking door? Who slams the door?
I just turned this new Evan Williams BlackBerry, and I just
I just turned this new Evan Williams Blackberry into one of the best freezer door cocktails I've literally ever tried. This is called the Third Rome Plan, okay? And this comes from the 1996 book Foundations of Geopolitics, okay? By Actor Dugan, who I think is one of the smartest geopolitical thinkers alive today. And his argument is this. His argument is this unipolar moment of American dominance. It's going to fade away because it's too much focus on secularism, individualism, liberalism. And these ideas break apart community. These ideas are anti-human. So eventually, Western society, Western civilization will collapse because it's backwards.
えーっと、
Are you looking for a powerful idea to make money?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Getting up. Trump
Thanks, Kawasaki. Appreciate you, dude.
be controlled. I'm honored to go to war with you.
Never come home. And I shall never see you again.
All my life, I've lived by a code. And the code is simple. Honor the gods, love your woman, and defend your country.
Go home, Prince. Tomorrow we'll have our war.
Speak of wars as if it's a game.
Talking about this war for 1,000 years.
For 1,000 years, the dust of our bones will fall.
Would you let him go? It's too early in the day for killing princes.
What style is that? This is my own series I'm working on.
That's reckless.
These are some of the raws. Sketching some pages.
Kill for the honor. Protecting these little warriors, they say. You went to kill, take life.
We can't just send him away.
Greece needs you. Greece got alongside as well.
So good.
Greece will be
Like
Greece
it.
all after.
Thank you. I just did this one earlier today. This is it has like a fairy tale vibe to it, except instead of you have like Men in Black, but instead of the aliens, you have fairy tales basically. And this part of the story. They're like lore mural art pieces that have like all these Easter eggs within the mural, and the prologue, sort of like in Avatar: Last Airbender, they'll be like long ago, the Fire Nation, before the Fire Nation attacked or whatever. That whole exposition opener. This is what I have for this series. My friend's gonna come in and do some cool boxes and letter it properly by hand. It's gonna be dope. That one took, I want to say, 2 hours to get to here. And I still gotta ink it, which is probably gonna be another 2 hours. So some pages have a lot more detail, so they'll take up to like 4 hours, sometimes 6 hours.
You found a way to make the sheep invite the wolves to dinner.
You just gotta get really interested in drawing in your own unique style and trying to figure that out. Just follow the clues that you get. Why are you attracted to certain character designs opposed to other ones, for example? Why do you like Batman Beyond style more than, I don't know, Family Guy style or Simpsons style? Maybe one has a different goal, right? Batman Beyond, with its style, it has a very action-packed, very edgy type series and conflict. Also, then like Simpsons or Family Guy, it's more about family, friendly, funny, goofy. It's supposed to make people feel like closer, right? So they use the shapes, which are more rounder, which are more friendlier than these pointy shapes. You see what I'm saying? So start to get curious about the shape language of things and try to find your own voice in that shape language, and figure out what you like. You'll be surprised. You keep drawing, you'll notice a sort of pattern start to come up, and why am I drawn to this more than this show or this game or whatever? Draw those things for fun, that's awesome, but learn to draw from your imagination and from playing with these shapes, like trying to find interesting shapes to speak with your art, your comic, or whatever you're working on. It just went at you. Yeah, it's gonna take some time, man. You just gotta keep going. Know that as long as you just keep, I would say, draw 1,000 pages, and until then, don't complain. Right? 1,000 pages of something. It could be scribbles. It could be whatever, but you got to put in over that much time across the years. At least get to 1,000, so you could get a full taste of what drawing is for you. A sample taste, and then try to go for more and more. Don't think too much about like every time I do I suck. Think about it as just numbers in the beginning, and just drawing what you're interested in and trying to find your way. It's a bit like trying to find the light switch in a dark room. You kind of have to feel around the room and the walls. It takes time. You'll eventually get that light switch, and then another light switch, another light switch. You'll start to learn where things are in that dark room, how you can move around. You know what I'm saying? So just be patient with it. But have you been drawing like strategically, or have you just been drawing whatever comes to mind quick? Like if you have a specific goal in mind, you have to pick somebody, let's say you look up to, that has the art job you want and what they do, and try to create something that's your own. That should be your project. If you've been drawing for 3 years, that can match that thing. You're gonna gain so much in that journey by taking it on. Try to allow yourself to go up for that challenge. Maybe you need something that's challenging, that forces you out of your comfort zone. So you just draw mostly zombies? That's okay. Maybe you want to do a zombie character design roster or something. Just design multiple versions of a zombie, maybe like this is how a butcher zombie would look like, or maybe like a Frankenstein experiment version of a zombie. You play with it. But give yourself a project that you can actually force yourself to get out of drawing what's familiar and maybe use something to explore for something new, you know? Thank you, Koroko. Appreciate you. When I draw scribbles, does it make it look better for what you're sketching? I think of scribbles is just a way for you to think loosely on the page. Um, it's more like a light trail, and you just get to see the end result of all the places you explored. So try to put your mind's eye at the very tip of the pencil. So when you're imagining and you're feeling out, let's say you're trying to draw a character, right? You want to try to be as much in tune with the tip of the pencil and what you're imagining, and just sort of following that and trying to find how the pencil could translate your thought, your image that you're seeing. So that would help, I think. But scribbles is not just scribbles, right? Like it's actually you thinking on the page, and when you see the end result, it's just like all the different places you ended up with on the pencil, right? Now, if you're mindlessly going like this, scribbling, okay, that's fine. You could do that, right? Erase, try to find the interesting shapes within there, pull them out, try to make something out of it. Keep doing that. You can work in layers. You can say no to. Okay. No. I already said no. You can ask. Go ahead. Sometimes when you're streaming, can I get a little lesson from you? I can't give you a little lesson, but you can learn from watching me and asking me questions. And while you're watching me, you can draw. Would you say in the 3 years that you've been drawing that you've drawn 1,000 pictures? Doesn't have to be complete. Like you've pencil to paper, brought something to a finished sketch at least 1,000 times. Okay, so you think you've done 1,000 pages of art across 3 years. So that would mean that you did 3 pages, or what it would mean you did 1.5 to 2 pages every single day across 3 years. Right? So you have to really reflect on how much you've drawn. If you feel that you need a specific area where you're struggling in, focus on that area. I could recommend books that you could check out that break down like anatomy or animal anatomy and stuff. And that'll help you. But most of all, try to go and draw directly from life. So if you can draw like watching, I don't know, people playing basketball at your park and you can draw them, or just whatever, draw people on the television even. That's okay too, when they're in motion, when they're about to box and they're about to punch or something. Try to capture the moment, pause it, draw. But most of all, draw from life. Draw even animals at the zoo if you can. Just draw and see how when you look at it directly with your eye, you'll see so much more subtle detail, and you'll kind of install it quicker. When you keep drawing from books and studying from books, you're unable to get those subtle little downloads that you would otherwise if you were drawing it in person. So that's number one. But you gotta really kind of focus on just drawing a lot, getting really into drawing, figuring out what you want to do with your drawing. Like, where do you want to go with it? Do you want to just be known for a style? Do you want to be a tattoo artist? Do you want to do comics? Figure that out, and then start to lock into the different areas you need to get better at, right? And if you have a hard time determining what you need to get better at, ask for feedback. You can drop a post. You can ask, hey, if you're an artist and you post on here, I'll follow you. You can follow me back, and then I could see if I could give you some feedback, right? You could drop a post on your thing, tag me in it, and I'll tell you what I think, what you can work on, right? But don't overdo it, okay? You want to do comics? Okay, yeah. So you want to do comics. If you want to do comics, you got to really, really love your story and the world you're creating a comic book about. Don't create unless you're happy and having a good time creating it. If you're creating and forcing yourself to create, you need to take a step back for a second and need to reflect, because comics is a lot of work. You're essentially the director, the environment artist, the prop artist, the concept artist, the aesthetic, the style, everything is coming from you. The story, unless you have a partner who's gonna do the writing for you, it's on you, right? And storyboarding to scripting, if you're interested in scripting your comics, so you have like a better understanding of your story. It depends on who it is. But you're gonna be wearing a lot of different hats as doing comics, and if it's what you want, then you need to be really, really devoted to it. So try your best to draw. I would recommend, if I was starting off, I would say draw your favorite comic book artists. Draw one of their pages, then do one of their double spreads, and then double that. So after you're done with the double spread, do another two of their pages, maybe not double spread. They would, and maybe do two more double spread just to get a feel for it, how they draw, and try your best. And then study anatomy. Look at Michael Hampton's figure drawing books. Study caricature art so you know how to draw different unique faces and to stretch and play with the faces. I recommend Tom Richmond, Mad Art of Caricature. Study, drawing from, study drawing hands and feet is really important. There's a lot of subtlety. And yeah, you got to study a lot of different things. But don't get overwhelmed. Take it just one step at a time. Accept where you are, and know that it's just a matter of one step at a time. And every step of the way, you're gaining. You're not losing. You're not getting. There's no way you could get worse. Every time you draw, you actually get better. You only get worse when it's in your mental space that you need to work on, where you're like something's bugging you and you start to make mistakes in your eyes, like what you feel it. It's a feeling thing. It's not really that. In reality, if you're drawing all the time, you're gonna get better. There's just only way is up. So accept where you are and where you want to go, and be willing to, study hard and be devoted to it. There's not a lot of money at all in comics, bro. So just know that you have to either self-publish, or you're gonna have to really work on a pitch book, or if you're pitching overseas, you gotta make a one-shot, send it to them, see what they say. If they like your work, they will talk to you. It's just simple as that. People want to make it harder than what it is. It's very clear. It is very hard, but it's not like you have to, know somebody. It's not all like that. You just need to create your thing, send it to them directly, enter tournaments if you can, or if you're you don't care about drawing your own shit and you just want to go draw like Spider-Man and all that, really focus on getting in the doors of those companies. So that would be my 2 cents on that. When I look like a what? When I look like a trace, it's embarrassing. So tracing is useful if you're, let's say, you want a really super realistic background, and you don't have time to like really get in there. Tracing, a lot of comic artists will do that. They'll put just a photo of a background. They'll probably not even trace over it. They'll probably just scan it in and put it in the background and mess around with it digitally. But yeah, that is one use of tracing. You could do it that way. You could also, if you're trying to learn something, you want to learn how the artist drew a character, drew a cover art, you could trace and you can learn from that. But what's better is when you try to recreate it and you pay real close attention to the master study that you're doing. But if I were to give you homework, depending on where you're at, I would say, really get comfortable with, first and foremost, drawing everything around you, and drawing from life as much as you can, and understanding the pressure control and the different lines that you can make. The way you make your mark, you can do a line like this or this. So play around with that, understand that, and then gravitate towards studying the master studies. Pick your favorite ones, your favorite comic book creators that you want to learn from, and just redraw some of their pages. Don't trace, just redraw some of their pages, and see how you feel about that. And hopefully that'll help you kind of start to build a confidence and understanding. But you're gonna have to do some reading. You're gonna have to do some practice work, some studying, and look up Manben, Manben, Manben on YouTube. It's a manga show where they show you behind the scenes when they make the manga and how the artist goes in and what their different tricks are. Just get really into it, man.
For weakness, we go after him. For me, family's my strength. There's business to be done.
Have you ever seen Samurai Champloo, Monster?
My best man, every fucking day.
You never seen Samurai Champloo? Go watch Samurai Champloo. Pay attention to Mugen and Jin. There's two different kinds of personalities, two opposite personalities in the show, right? You got Mugen, who fights unorthodox, adapts to his situation, has no fear, and figures out a way, right? And doesn't doubt himself, doesn't think like everything needs to be perfect. He figures it out. And there's someone who's like Jin, who's very precise, very skillful, very exact, right? But he kind of doesn't flow like Mugen. While Mugen he's not as precise sometimes, right? So you kind of have to embody both of these energies, right? And when you start to talk negative to yourself and your path, when you start to tell yourself, this is not good, this is bad, this is not right, make sure you're using that as a tool and not as an attack, right, on yourself. Not as an attack on your worth to go on this journey, right? You need to understand there is a part of judgment that's useful, but at some point it becomes this way is to escape and to not do the work, right? Because you suck at it anyway, so why am I going to do it? That's what essentially is the goal of those kinds of thoughts. Don't go in that direction, okay? From now on, when you look at your work, you shouldn't be thinking too much about how oh, it's just so bad, and if the thought tells you to stop drawing, that's not a thought you should be friendly with. You should try to focus on how you can always improve, but also focus on the fun of the drawing experience and connecting with that freestyle as much as you can, because you're going to be so rigid and so stiff when you're trying to be too precise and perfect all the time. You see how scribbly it looks like? Well, all this scribbly stuff, it turns out into something like this. And then this stuff turns out to something like this. And then that stuff turns out to something like this. See? Work in layers, work your way up every step of the way. Don't let these thoughts take you out of the journey. But it all starts with scribbles. Alrighty, I think I'm gonna end the stream here. I'll be back to update more of this. It's gonna probably be a couple layers. This is looking like I'm gonna need to make it almost as detailed as this page. We'll see what happens, but yeah, I'll be back. Okie doke. Later.
Yeah, no.